We are what? We are who? We are what? Vibrant. We are who? 50 plus. Hi, welcome to Gray Lives on the Rise. I am your host, Professor Jamila Franklin, and we are coming to you from Oyende Enterprises, being sponsored by Jamila Sense, which is our product line of aromatherapy products that helps heal the mind, body, and soul. And we are bringing to you Alamaj's rebirthing program, as well as Jamila Sense and a host of wonderful programs that will help heal your body, heal your soul, and heal your mind. 50 plus people, we are here to stay. Gray Lives on the Rise. We are what? We are who? We are vibrant, and we are here to stay. Join us for our wonderful episodes. Thank you, and continue to look for our episodes weekly, being brought to you again from Oyende Enterprises and Jamila Sense. See you soon. Greetings, everyone. Welcome again to Great Lives. See, Michelle? Great Lives on the Rise with Professor Jamila Franklin. And I have the lovely Heather Prince with us today. Lovely, dynamic Heather Prince. Heather Prince is a spiritual relationship coach, author, and healer with over 30 years experience guiding soulful women through the pain of heartbreak towards self-love, confidence, and conscious partnerships. Wow, that is so important, particularly as we become more senior, not senior, but as we mature in our life. Sometimes women feel like they cannot find a perfect mate if they're over 50. And a lot of the advertising will falsely have you believe that. And that is so far from the truth. Drawing from her own transformative journey after a long-term relationship ended, Heather helps women break free from repeating patterns, heal past wounds, and reclaim their feminine energy. She combines holistic modalities, Akashic records work, meditation, and intuitive coaching to support women in creating love that truly matches their worth. Heather is also a certified spiritual response consultant, retreat host, and author of the Kindle book, The Story of Crystal and the Pearl of Wisdom. I love that title. I love it. Her mission to empower women to move from heartbreak to wholeness, feel deeply seen, and attract the equal, soulful partnerships they've always desired. Heather, oh my goodness, you are such a diamond for us. Okay, you're not a
Thank you.
coal. Uh, you've gone through the fire, because that's what happens to coal before it becomes a diamond. It has to go through a process. So you've gone through it, and you can tell us how to do it. Thank you so much, Heather. We have a lot to talk about. So we're going to sit down and
We
chit chat.
certainly do.
Yeah, you're in your living space. I'm in my living space. What better place to be? We're going to have a wonderful, soulful meeting. Thank you so much, beloved, for joining us from across the waters from the UK. Wow, we have a lot to talk about. Women are going to be so interested. And men, you need to listen too, okay? So you're going to learn some tips. You need to listen. Heather, give us a brief summary of your upbringing, your past, and then segue into how you ended up being this wonderful coach to help women find their true love.
I think from when I was growing up in school, Jamila, I
Mhm.
was always the classroom agony aunt. People would open up to me and tell me their problems, and I'd always have a listening ear and a solution to offer. And my parents were very open to energy and
Oh,
clairvoyance and life after death. And
mm,
it was very accepted in my household. And I watched a movie, Barbara Streisand, on a clear day. And in the movie, she was hypnotized and she became Miranda and she became her past life. And I was fascinated. I must have been about 14, 15 at the time, maybe.
Mhm.
And it opened my eyes to the possibility of us having been here before. And
Mhm.
I grew up and had a family of my own. And my youngest son was different from my older two. And I read a book in America by Lee Carroll about indigo kids. And
Yeah.
he described my youngest son, and I took him to be assessed here in the UK. And this lovely lady, Nkechi, said to me, would you like me to clear his Akashic records? And while she was doing it, I intuitively linked in with her and then spent 2 years studying with her and meeting the man who created spiritual response therapy called Robert Detzler from America. He came over to London and I had a workshop with him. Unfortunately, he's now passed over.
Mm.
And my journey began then of getting to the root, not just sticking a sticky plaster over a headache and giving somebody a paracetamol. It's why did you get that headache? What's
Yeah.
going on emotionally? What's going on mentally? And I began my journey of working with people. And at the age of 49, my 34-year relationship ended. I met my ex-husband before my 16th birthday. And
Mhm.
my life opened up to an unknown pathway, something I never thought I would walk down. And I had nobody to show me the stepping stones forward. I'd
Mhm.
never dated as an adult. I didn't know the game. I felt
Right.
I felt I'd been thrown into the sea with the sharks.
Right.
And I certainly have a few interesting dating stories that I won't share here. But eventually, I did get involved with another girlfriend to put on some events where it was a three-course meal. And after each course, the gentleman would move round and sit next to another lady. And
Oh,
and
okay.
at one of those events, I met the man who's now in my life, and we've been together for nearly 14 years. So I've had a huge learning curve of blended families. I
Mm.
have 3 children. I have 8 grandchildren. He has 2 younger children. When he met me, I had a very elderly mother that needed to be cared for. So, yes, you have to take on baggage, people might call it. But
Mm.
yes, it's certainly very different from dating when you're younger.
Yeah. 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 And you have more wisdom. That is amazing. That is amazing. So you ended your previous relationship with the person you had met when you were a teenager, and then you started to evolve. Because when we're younger and we're dating our high school boyfriends or whatever, and if those relationships end, we're a different person. So, and you were just um, you were very much aligned with your higher self in order to have this wonderful person come along, and you've been together for 14 years. That is so amazing. So, what were some of the do's and don'ts that you realized when you were in the dating scene? Because a lot of women now are hesitant because it's a different world than when we were younger. It's
It's
a
a different
different
world.
world.
It's a technological world, and there's these dating apps. But
Yeah.
my message to anybody watching is, are you ready to date yet? Because when we're in a relationship where there may have been betrayal, maybe
Yeah.
abandonment, maybe abuse. We need to regenerate ourselves. And as a meditation teacher of over 30 years and a psychic development teacher as well, in fact, we're meeting tonight here in the Energy Studio. Um, we were shown a starfish, and a starfish regenerates its legs, which is amazing. And when you're a woman and you've been in a relationship, maybe you've been taken for granted, maybe
Mm,
you were told, oh, you're never going to do that, or you're fat, nobody's going to find you attractive, and all things like that. It lops off your legs. So we
yeah.
need to discover, do you need to grow your self-esteem? Do you need to grow your self-confidence? Getting naked over the age of 50 is very different from being naked when you're in your 20s. So,
Mm-hmm.
confidence to go out there, be you, be authentic, self-belief, self-respect.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be respected, it starts with self-respect. If you want to be loved, it starts with self-love. So they're the five legs of the starfish that I work with my clients. And I meet my client where they're at. Every relationship has been unique. Every relationship is different. And it all starts with the relationship that we see growing up. How did
Mm-hmm.
dad treat mum? How did
Yes.
mum be with dad?
Yeah.
No judgment, no judgment. And we look at it through the eyes of love and greater understanding and self-awareness.
Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes too, when, well, throughout our ages, I think females have a challenging time setting boundaries, and particularly
Yes.
in relationships. And as they get older, I think they think that they have to settle for certain things. But then on the other hand, there are others who have been married and they're like, well, they don't desire to be married anymore. They just would like to have companionship, and they're like, the bar is high because they've been married and their husband has either transitioned in terms of being deceased, or they're divorced. And they feel very comfortable with themselves. So you have sometimes two different groups.
Absolutely. You've got women that never want to go there again. And
Yeah,
maybe because they've been very, very, very hurt. So
yeah,
I look at it like Venetian blinds that are shut over the heart chakra. The
mm,
heart chakra cannot go through that pain, that deceit, that
yeah,
hurt ever
yeah,
again. They can't go there. And
yeah.
that's their choice. But the truth is, you're not learning, you're not growing unless you're in relationship. When
Mm,
you're in relationship, it's a mirror back at you of what you need to address within yourself.
wow. So the other person is reflecting back to you,
Yes,
your unhealed wounds, so to
yes.
speak. Okay.
Yes. And it gives you that opportunity to learn and to grow.
Mm,
And there's, again, no judgment here if you're watching this and thinking, I'm really happy being single. I never want to be in a relationship again. That is your free will. Everyone has it. But there's lots of women out there that say, well, actually, I'm lonely. My children are grown up.
mhm.
They've got lives and families of their own. They might not live nearby. And good luck to them. You've done a great job raising them, and they've flown the nest. But what about you?
Yeah.
And hopefully we live long lives into our 80s, 90s, who knows, whatever is meant to be. But why not have the best time of your life with someone on your arm who may have lost their darling wife,
Yeah.
or their wife may have had an affair and they're on their own now. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
you both, if you both want that beautiful companionship, lovely friendship,
Yeah.
maybe deep love, why not?
Yeah. I agree. I agree. And having someone like you, Heather, it is so comforting, because there are people out there who are hesitant about the dating apps because you don't know what you're getting. Back in the day, someone might match make you physically with someone. So you knew what the person looked like, and the person who's matching you knew the guy. So
And
that,
that can happen, Jamila. That can
mhm,
happen. You have to be proactive. You have to have a full life. Join the
mm,
book club, join the wine club, go to the art class, do bowls, do whatever it is that you enjoy doing. Join a bridge club, whatever it is that you love to do, and then share. Actually, I'd love to have a friend in my life. And you might meet a woman who says, well, I'd like you to meet my brother, my cousin, my
yeah,
neighbor, my friend's husband. She died 5 years ago. Whatever it is, if you don't voice it, they don't know that actually you're ready for that friendship.
that's a very good point. And I think that some of the people who have done the digital dating, there have been mixed reports.
Yes,
So,
and also if they haven't worked on themselves, they're gonna meet somebody where they're at. Once they've
mm,
worked at themselves and they're whole, they've got the self-love, self-esteem, self-confidence, all of that, they're going to meet like for like. And then
mm,
they enhance each other's lives. If somebody's watching this and you've been dating for a year, two, three, maybe longer, and you're
mm.
getting sordid pictures and sordid messages, or just not aligning with who you want as your life partner, let's do some work on you. Not saying there's anything wrong with you, but we need to boost you up so that you're at your whole full potential for you to then magnify in and attract in someone who's on that level.
I love that. I love that because what I would say as a therapist too, when women say that they have this checklist, and I think the checklist is definitely important. You need to have it. Otherwise, you're just accepting anything, you're settling. But then I ask, and sometimes you have to think about it. I said, to young women, especially to more mature women, it's as well, would you marry you today? Would you marry you? And they have to think about it. They're like, no. So I'm like, well, if you wouldn't marry you, if you think that you have some issues that need to be addressed, then you're going to attract that person who's doing the same thing.
Brilliant, absolutely
Like,
brilliant question, Jamila. When I
yeah,
work with my client, yes, we do a list of, non-negotiables.
yeah,
You know, the gentleman has got to take care of himself, whether he's a walker, a jogger, a golfer, whatever. And it may be a deal breaker is you don't want someone that's a liar or dishonest.
yes,
You don't want somebody perhaps that smokes
yeah,
or is addicted to alcohol, whatever it is. There are deal breakers that we need to be clear on. And then the law of attraction needs to know, okay, you want a man. Well, is he tall? Is he small? Is he stocky? Is he very slim? Is he into soul music? Does he like opera? You need to put your list down, but also, what are you bringing to the table? So, a great
yes,
question that you ask is, what are you bringing to the table? When you say, would you marry yourself?
yes,
And once that again comes to self-esteem, self-worth, I'm bringing honesty, I'm bringing love, I'm bringing kindness.
mhm,
All of those things. A lot of people just think, oh, I want a man and he's got money and, we'll have a nice life. But what are you bringing along? A man doesn't want a woman that just wants him for his money, because a man's heart wants to be loved. And it
yeah,
is a heart
yeah,
chakra to heart chakra connection. A lot of people think, oh, it's intellectual, we'll have a great conversation. A lot of people wear very low cut tops, show off their boobies, and think it's sexual, but it isn't. It's a heart to heart
yes.
connection.
Yes, yes, yes. And I was listening to someone. Your information is so on point because it's seasoned information. And sometimes when people are looking at these love coaches on the internet, they basically are for younger people, and they're not really um, tied into who and where we are at this stage. So yeah, showing your cleavage and all that. I mean, and that's the thing. If you do all of that, the sexual appeal, because men are visual, you know, they're very visual. Then if he comes onto you in a disrespectful way, I tell women, you know, you are offering all this, you're presenting a package that says, I am very sexual. And so he's going to respond to that. He's going to respond. But and then you want him to have these intellectual conversations. That may not happen because you presented all this in the beginning. So if you want a superficial relationship, that's what you're going to get. If you want
Yes,
something that's
it's
more,
really important to project our essence of who
yeah,
we are with the colors that we wear, the
yeah,
style we wear. And a lot of my clients have lost themselves. So I have an expert that works alongside me that would do my ladies' colors, which is right for their tone, and also works on their style for their confidence, for
yeah,
their self-esteem, and they can go in to a date feeling very comfortable within their own skin. And
yeah,
it's really important for a man to get that essence and to feel that that woman is okay being her. And
yeah,
either that X connection is there or it isn't. And the more
yeah.
dates that you go on, you practice and refine that. You're not going to meet the one immediately. You might have to have a few chats with a few different people, and then you're much clearer on what you don't want so that you become so concise with what you do want.
Heather, I think you raise a very, very important point in terms of people having variety, because I know when I was growing up, it was like you only date one guy at a time. Now the common philosophy is you have choices. You don't have to tie yourself down to one person
No.
until you meet the one.
I think the word that they use nowadays is exclusive.
Yes,
If you meet
yes.
a guy and he wants a second date with you and he wants a third date with you and he connects with you more than the other guys that you've had a coffee or a drink with, then you can say to the other guys, I wish you all the best, but your woman isn't me. I hope you find your lady. And then you can say to that man that you connect with, I'm happy to be exclusive.
Mm-hmm. I think,
And you can agree on that. And I always say to my ladies, on your first date, we'll work on their core values so that they know their core values. Find that out on the first date. Because if your core value is freedom and you love to go out with your girlfriends and go away to a spa for the weekend or whatever it is for you, and you meet a man and he says his core value is freedom because he likes to go and play golf once a month abroad, then you're aligned. But if that is misaligned, that's it. Next one on the list.
mm,
You need to know that. You also need to know your needs, and you need to be aware of finding out what your man's needs are. Because if your need is acts of service, and you like a man to make you a cup of coffee or whatever, um, he needs to be aware of what fills your love bucket, and
mm,
then vice versa. If his need is a one-on-one time alone with you, you've got to make that space available.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I know. There was a friend of mine who went out on a date with this guy. It was a few years ago. And the guy said to her that he never opens car doors for women. And she thought that was very strange and odd, right? I don't know. I'm not sure why he said that. But then they went on a date. It was the first date. They had met at a supermarket. She was shopping and the guy was physically attracted to her. And she was like, he was okay. He wasn't. impressed with him or whatever, but she just went out on a date with him to find out more about him. But then he said he doesn't open up car doors, and that was like non-negotiable for him. And she thought about it. She said that's very weird. But her body spoke to her when he went to get a hug. When her back went into spasms. Right then and there, she knew. The thing wasn't flowing the way that she had thought anyway. So when she told me, I said, okay, your back told you exactly. Energetic.
Exactly. Exactly. And there's a lady that went out on a date and she loves to travel. And she's got the freedom now at her time of life to go and travel and the affordability. And she went out on a date with a man and said, "Oh, I love to travel. What about you? Where have you been?" And he went, "Nowhere." And he lived by the coast and didn't see the point in going to travel to other cultures and learning about other countries. So that was a definite no for her. So you know it's worth going out, it's worth meeting that person
Yeah.
to practice conversation. People love to talk about themselves, and the main thing I say to my ladies is be curious.
Mm. Well, I've known when I've gone out with guys, all you have to do is just sit there and listen, because they would tell you everything, and then they would say to you, "Oh, you're a great conversationalist." I hadn't said that much. In an hour, he's talked about 50 minutes of the hour. Talk, and I just sit there and I listen. And I'm taking mental notes as he's talking, and oh, you're a great conversationalist. I said, oh, that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, because you've allowed them the space. And also, when you use the language, I feel, and you're speaking about, oh, I feel so good tonight. I was driving along, the sun was setting, the sky was pink and orange. Oh, it was gorgeous. It made me feel so great. When
Hmm.
you share that, it gives them the space and the safety to say how they feel, because it's not very often when a man actually communicates how they're feeling.
Oh, okay. So you can use the words "I feel" about
I
anything,
feel.
and that
Yeah.
would be like a prompter for him to
Yeah.
respond.
And also say if you've made dinner for someone and they've been delayed, they've been in a road where there's been a hold up. And rather than pointing, "Oh my God, I've made your dinner and it's gone dry because you're so late," and all of that, you can just say, "I feel so disappointed. I put so much effort into making this dinner and it's upsetting now that it's all gone dry." It changes how the dynamics is of that communication. So I work a lot with my ladies about how to communicate.
Mm-hmm. And it's not, when you say "I feel," you're taking personal responsibility for your.
No one can say, "No, you don't."
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. As opposed to saying "you did," because when you do "you," it's like poking someone in the chest.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
"I feel" takes it, that's a softer way. I like that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. So, what are some of the challenges do you think that women have when they're older in terms of connecting with the one?
I think what I've seen in my Facebook group is that women think that there are no good guys out there, but it
Mm-hmm.
only takes one.
Yes.
And it's not about a needle in a haystack that you need to go and search for. Once you become whole, once you become at the higher aligned potential of who you truly are, you
Mm-hmm.
actually attract, you become a magnet. We are a vibrational energy. So there can be the most gorgeous woman in the restaurant or the bar, but she doesn't really love herself and she spends a lot of money maybe on plastic surgery, and good luck to her. And maybe you aren't as beautiful perhaps in your eyes as that woman, but the man is going to come over to you. Why? Because you're comfortable in your own skin, you love yourself, warts and all, you've got a great life, you do this, you go here, you go there, you've got a lot to share, and you're great at being curious and listening to guys, and they love that. And that energy attracts the bees to the flower.
Yeah, that is so interesting. We're going to take a quick pause now. So that is very interesting because, when you look at these women who physically gorgeous, like models or whatever, and they don't have long-lasting relationships or they can't find the one. You're like, well, what's up with that? And then you see other women who are okay, attractive, whatever, but they're not like these model types. And they have these long-lasting relationships. I've seen that. I've wondered. I've said, wow, what's going on here? Because we think men are really, really superficial. And sometimes the younger ones are, they go for the glitz and the glam or whatever, but then that wears off. After you've had so many encounters with each other, you have to then start having conversations that are meaningful. And for him too, if like young girls go for the guys who are buff and all that, but they don't have that much to say. When you sit down and talk to them, and
Exactly. So it goes a lot deeper. And also on a spiritual level, it can be a connection that you've had in a past life where
oh
you meet someone and think, that's my person. So I've spoken to a couple of people who's that's happened to. 2 weeks later, they got engaged. 6 weeks later, they were married. 35 years later, they're still together. So,
wow,
do we believe in love at first sight? Maybe. Do we believe that there is a connection where you recognize each other? Possibly. When I met my ex-husband just before my 16th birthday, he was with a friend and he invited me out that evening. And his friend said to him, he said to his friend, sorry, that's the girl I'm going to marry. And 6 years later, when I was 21, we did get married. And I bless it because it's produced our lovely three children and our lovely grandchildren. And we completed our cycle together, and we can now be in the same company with the family, and it's a lot easier for our children rather than two separate parents at loggerheads with each other. So I think that's something that I share with my clients, because when we've got anger, hatred, jealousy, resentment, it manifests into dis-ease, and that's the last thing we want.
that is so true. So now, let me have you give people your contact information because this is it's so interesting. I don't want to run out of time. You haven't given them your social handles. How can they?
Okay. So I'm sure under the podcast, Jamila, you're going to put the links. Right now, there's a freebie. I've actually printed it off, but it's a PDF, and it's from heartbreak to wholeness. It's a little workbook that you can download absolutely free. And as I say, the link hopefully will be under the podcast. Also, on Tuesday, the 30th of September, 8 p.m. in the UK, which I believe we're 4 hours ahead of where you're based, Jamila. Um, I will be doing a Zoom 6 week journey. And if you cannot attend, if you're watching this in Australia or somewhere where the time zone is very different, it will be recorded and it will be sent out to you. And what we're doing in that 6 week journey is we're looking at your love blueprint and we're shifting your love blueprint. So if you've had an experience, as I say, of betrayal, abandonment, abuse, whether that was physical or mental, and something unpleasant, which was a bit of a trauma, and you've lost hope, you've lost trust, but you'd like to be involved again, but never go through what you've been through, then this 6 week journey is for you. And again, hopefully, Jamila, you've got that link and you'll put it under this podcast.
Yeah, yeah, we will. But if people want to get the verbal information from you, do you have like a Facebook link or
Yes, I'm on Facebook as Heather Prince.
so
I have a I
spell?
have a I have a Facebook group called Attract Your Forever Love. That link is under my name, Heather Prince, on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on TikTok. So you will find me, or you can Google me, Heather Prince, and it will come up. My website is my nickname, which is the Root Master, because I get to the root. So when I'm working with a client, we will look at your Kabbalah astrology. What have you come to learn in your current lifetime? We will look at your life wheel. Where are you blocked to your full potential? We will look at on the starfish which one of the selfies is most important for you to focus on right now, and a number of other things that we will do for you to shift where you are up to a higher vibrational level.
Wow, that is amazing. So people can attend the workshop on the 30th of September. That's
Yes.
wonderful. You have enough time, everyone, because this is going to air 2 weeks before then. So you have more than enough time to contact.
Yeah, just click on the link to that 6 week journey and come on board. You'll be receiving a Zoom link,
Mhm.
and we will be going through the program very simply, week by week. There'll be a little bit of homework to do. You'll be joined to a WhatsApp group so that I will support you on the WhatsApp group and prompt you midweek as well. So you're never going to feel just left on your own. It won't be anyone else other than me. I don't believe in farming it out to anybody else. I take that seriously on board, and there won't be any overwhelm. All these things that, like, are a 3 or a 5 day thing, can be a bit overwhelming when you've got a life. So once a week is enough, and it will be a 6 week journey with me that will shift everything.
That is wonderful. It's amazing. That's so sign up for Heather's workshop. You can tell that she is gifted. You can tell that she's knowledgeable. She is amazing. She deals with energy. She deals with your past life. Because sometimes, and I met someone when I was in college that we had an instant connection. I just knew. I knew this person from another lifetime, and I had never met him before. And um, we dated for a moment, and then it kind of fizzled out. But I knew him from another life. He felt so familiar, and he felt the same way about it with me. So I guess our soul contract for this lifetime expired. I have not been in touch with him since the relationship ended, but he felt very familiar. So I knew that this was something that was going to be meaningful and was very meaningful for me for that period in my life. And sometimes, like you had done with your first love with your husband, your ex-husband, we think we're going to be in it forever, but after the soul contract has been fulfilled, we come in here to fulfill certain things, then it's okay for us to part. But in Western culture, it teaches, well, worldwide too, that you stay with the person forever. And sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't. So we have to know when the expiration date is upon us and move forward.
Absolutely. And as I said, you've got free will. So my ex-husband actually broke our soul contract. But that was his free will to do that.
Yeah,
And then he's going on his own journey now of
yeah,
learning and growth. But I wanted to do this work. I was told I was a light worker. Now we're called a light beacon to do the work as people are awakening up from the third dimension to the fifth dimension.
yes,
And
yes,
it was my destiny. So
yes.
I was moving onwards and upwards, and he wanted to stay there. And that's fine, no judgment, but I wanted to go higher in my path forward, and therefore there was a misalignment and a disconnect. So it happens, and once we understand that, we can bless it, forgive the past, and move on.
I love that perspective. So in the few minutes, let's say like in the 3 minutes, how do you apply the Akashic records to your work? I love the Akashic records, and I can.
Okay, so the Akashic records, from learning spiritual response therapy, has 30 charts here, in a folder so that they don't tear. Wherever I'm working, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, wherever, Dubai, I connect with my crystal dowser. I'm purely the vessel. And I work with my clients' higher consciousness, their high self,
Mm,
and working with the higher self. I check on the chart one whether I'm working with the higher self, and we'll just say, am I working with Jamila's higher self right now? Okay, can you tell Jamila what she's chosen as her soul life theme and challenge? You can. Thank you. And what is Jamila? What's she chosen as her life theme and challenge? Oh, lovely. You've chosen control and power. So that's all about self-control and self-empowerment.
mm,
So it can go out of balance where people become controlling over others or want power over others. But the life lesson is all about self-control,
mhm,
self-empowerment. So if
mm,
you've had any challenges in your life about that kind of thing, that's why, because that's what your soul chose.
mm. So can you ever uh, outgrow that to go to another challenge?
I believe that is a life challenge, but I'm just asking what are your main soul qualities? And it's asking me to go to a different chart, which I will go to, and we will discover what is Jamila's main soul quality, please, on the inside of this chart. Okay. Oh, wow. Love this. You have great understanding. So that's your soul quality, is that you have great understanding, which is beautiful.
Oh yeah, thank you. Understanding of other people, of myself, or
Understanding, an umbrella of understanding self, life, and others.
hmm. Yeah, I do. I do.
That's a lovely soul quality.
Yeah, yeah, I
So
can.
that's the kind of work that I do. That's a 90-minute removing of the outer layer of the onion. And then the next session, we might go deeper and remove another layer of the onion.
Mm,
This is all encompassing in when I'm working with my client. I might discover that their heart chakra is blocked.
mm,
Maybe their base chakra, their stability and security, is blocked, and they've got lower back problems, leg
mm.
problems, joint problems. It all signifies what's going on in the emotional and mental layers.
Yeah, yeah. That's wonderful. This is so fun. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're if you're so brave, ladies, you must get in touch with Heather. This is so interesting because what you're doing is everything you do is all encompassing. It's not just focusing on what I get a husband, what I meet my soulmate. You're going deeper within the person to show her what the blockages have been and currently are that are keeping her from having the life
Yes,
that she's
yes. Because
dreamed.
if you're saying to the law of attraction, will I get a husband? That's not actually saying thank you for my husband who will come along in divine timing. It's
Yeah.
like saying, I want a new car. Well, what car is it? What colour do you want? What interior do you want? What engine do you want? What
Mm,
fuel do you want? Or do you want it to be electric? How
mm,
old do you want it to be? You know, the law of attraction needs you to be a little bit more detailed.
specific. Okay. And then some people feel like if they're too specific, they may miss out on
I
this.
think there's a flexibility, oh, I've got to have a man that isn't bald. But then he might tick all your other boxes. And then you think, well, actually, it doesn't matter that he's bald because he's so lovely. He's funny and he's honest and he's kind and all the other tick boxes. So I think we need a little bit of flexibility.
Mm-hmm. This is so, oh my goodness. Ladies, as we are rounding up this time uh, together, you must get in touch with Heather. Heather would be more than likely to have a discovery call with you.
Yes, that's free.
Yeah, a discovery call with you. And then you can then see all of her different talents, and there are a lot. What she's talking about is not the conventional way that you enter enter a relationship. Is really energetic and it's spiritual and it's more um, detailed and more sound than a lot of the technology things. They have a lot of things out there now, especially now that they're using AI. And it's just so mechanical. And it's like getting to the soul and the root of who people are. This is similar to the old-fashioned matchmaking, which worked. Because you're dealing with people. We're people. We're not machines. And
Exactly, exactly. We've got feelings, we've got history, we've got things that we may believe because our parents believed in it or our teacher believed in it, but actually, do you believe in it? And there are plenty of lovely, lovely men out there that are praying for a gorgeous woman like you,
yeah,
honestly. And
yeah,
when I've spoken to men, they're just human. They just want to be loved.
yeah, yeah. And a lot of them have been so conditioned to not show their feelings and vulnerabilities. But what you've done and what you have mastered is you're teaching us how to use a language that will open them up to their feelings. Like you said, I feel such and such and such.
Yes, communication in
Yeah,
any relationship is key.
yeah,
Whether you're married, whether you're living with somebody, whether you're dating, the
yes,
communication is the most important thing because I don't know if you've read Men Are From Mars, Women Are From
yes,
Venus. It
yeah.
can be misunderstood when the husband says, "No, we're not going on holiday. Oh, he doesn't love me. We're not going on holiday." And it could be what he's saying is, we're not going on holiday because right now we're spending our money on doing up the garden or whatever it is, and it's not available now to invest in a holiday. But, men don't go into detail. So we need to go in the layers, and just say, oh, so we're not going on holiday because, and allow them to
Hmm.
share.
Hmm. I think that's so wonderful. And I think too, as we mature in age, men are who are older are lonely and they're looking for not the superficial things that they looked for when they were younger. They're looking for companionship. They're looking for someone who can love them for who they are.
Absolutely. I mean, I had a lovely lady, went out on a date with a man, but this man also needed somebody to share with him the way forward because his wife had died and he wanted a replacement. So he wanted to take this lady out shopping and choose her clothes for her, which he did for his wife. This lady is an independent lady. She didn't want a man to choose her clothes for her. She didn't want to be bought either. And
Mhm.
then if he's bought her a present, then he would expect a physical relationship. Doesn't work that way. A woman needs to feel that in her heart and she needs to be romanced.
Yeah,
So this man needed a bit of advice as well. It wasn't his fault. He'd been married 40 years and he just wanted to replace his wife. His wife would sit with him while he watched the boxing. This lady didn't want to sit with him and watch boxing. So yes, it's like when you love a dog, you can buy the same breed, but it's never the same dog. It's the
exactly.
same thing with a woman, and so men also need to learn a little bit as well.
That is so true. I have there in the 1 minute that we have left. what would you like to leave with our audience of women? Because I know they're going to be, oh my goodness, they're going to be, Heather.
I want to say to all of you what I say to every lady that works with me.
Mhm.
You are enough. And whatever is meant for you will never pass you by.
Yeah. Oh, enough said. I love that. You are enough.
Yeah.
You don't have to get cosmetic surgery. You have to try to look like you're 20 or 30. For those men who are into that, they are not in alignment with you. So,
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I get it. A man who's 55 wants to feel virile, he wants to feel young, and he
mm,
wants to feel up a 40-year-old. Well, I get that. But the reality is that just because you're over 50 doesn't mean that you're any different from that 40-year-old within you, because I certainly don't feel my age.
mm,
And I think when you look after yourself, and you get your hair done, have a facial, book yourself a massage, get your nails done, whatever it is, look after your feet and have a pedicure, feel good about yourself.
yeah,
Um, Age is just a number.
it really is. It really is. But thank you so much, lovely Heather. You have answered so many questions I know that women have, and probably men have too. Get in touch with Heather Prince. Book her, call her, a discovery call. And she has this wonderful workshop that's going to take place on September 30th. You will have more than enough time to sign up for it. Definitely get in touch with her ASAP. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamila. Thank you.
For those who have gotten in touch with her, I want to hear some matrimonial stories too. Thank you, love. So again, Great Lives on the Rise. Join us every Sunday from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the replay you can look at anytime. But we air live on Sundays from 7 to 8 p.m. Great Lives on the Rise. And definitely go to our website, which is Oyinde Enterprises, Oyinde Enterprises, Enterprises.com. Thank you for watching, everyone, you beautiful souls. We love you. Tell everyone about us.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much, loves. Until next time. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Gray Lives on the Rise, being brought to you by Jamila Sense, which is the product line of Oyinde Enterprises. Jamila Sense is a 100% natural aromatherapy line that heals the mind, body, and soul. This episode of Gray Lives on the Rise was intended to uplift you, to inspire you, and to motivate you. Please tell all of your friends, family members, and anyone you know who's 50 plus, who's living a vibrant life and interested in doing more and enjoying life even to its fullest. So thank you, and please subscribe, like, and comment on this video and all our videos. Thank you, and until next time, until our next podcast, namaste and be well.